Wolf Epic Field for the 2023 World Lacrosse Men's Championship presented by Radius Children's Hospital. Our first game of the day is Austria versus Italy. This time we ask that you please rise and remove your caps as we play the national anthem for both Austria and Italy.
To go here on Wolf Epic Field for Team Italy, Pool E play. Italy 3-0, taking on Team Austria at 0-3. As Italy looks to climb up the ranks here for their seeding heading into the playoffs. And Austria looking to get their first win here at the 2023 World Lacrosse Men's Championship. Beautiful day in San Diego. Thanks for joining us on ESPN Plus. We'll be back with the opening face-off in mere moments. Stick with us. Okay. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Okay.
Fans, please be aware that lacrosse balls may
Okay.
fly into the stands at high rates of speed.
Not a worry.
For everyone's safety, we encourage all fans to be aware of the play on the field at all times. World Lacrosse is committed to good sportsmanship. All athletes, coaches, and officials strive to represent the very best spirit and tradition of the
Okay.
game of lacrosse. We ask you also, please support the participants and your fellow fans in a positive manner at all times. Profanity, vulgarity, or disrespectful cheers, remarks, or gestures are unacceptable and may be grounds for removal. Thank you for attending today's game, and we hope you enjoy the World Lacrosse.
Welcome back to San Diego. On the campus of San Diego State University. Wolf Epic Field here. And Pool E action set to go on the final day of round-robin competition. The 3-0 Italians will take on the 0-3 Austrians here. As Austria with 12-4, 15-5, and 9-6 losses to Scotland, Mexico, and Hong Kong, respectively. And on the flip side of things, the Italians, they beat Hong Kong 13-5, 13-9 over Mexico, and 15-5 over Scotland. As Italy and Austria come to center field for their pregame lineup. Italy will wear their whites here today with the blue helmets, and Austria in their reds with the white shorts and red helmets. Another fabulous, gorgeous, beautiful day here in Southern California. We thank you for tuning in to ESPN Plus for the World Championships. And they're presented by Rady Children's Hospital, one of the top hospitals here on the West Coast and ranked among the top 10 children's hospitals in the entire nation. As for Italy, my first look at them, just my second look here at Team Austria. But some notable names on this Team Italy team. In particular, Christian Cuccinello, who attended Villanova University and spent a little time in the Premier Lacrosse League with the Boston Cannons. You got Matt DeLuca, the goaltender out of Delaware. And then Bobby Russo out of Rutgers. So some high-end talent here. John Piatelli, of course, who made the NLL all-rookie team with the Albany Firewolves. So some firepower here on Team Italy as they'll take on their rivals here from Austria. Should be a fun one, and a full slate of games coming up here on day 5 as well. As the other two games here in the 10 o'clock window, France and Wales, and Jamaica and New Zealand coming up as well. And then in the 1 o'clock window, a game to be watching, Hong Kong versus Mexico. I'll have the Israel-Czech Republic game and the Netherlands and Latvia to round out morning action, and 6 more to come after that in the 4 o'clock and 7 o'clock Pacific windows. The two goaltenders will shake hands as the big Italian goaltender DeLuca, and it'll be 33, Mika Wimmer, who will get the start here out of the University of Liverpool for Team Austria. If you want to be interactive during the webcast, or broadcast I should say, here today, you can reach me via Twitter at PXP, the number 4 sports. Let me know where you're tuned in from, who you're cheering for. Who do you think is going to win the gold medal Saturday night at Snapdragon Stadium? As Canada topped the Haudenosaunee by a single marker last night in just a fabulous display of lacrosse. Blow the whistle, let's play some lacrosse as we're underway here from Wolf Epic Field. And Italy, who have been very good in the face-off dot, 50 of 64 so far for the Italian team at the face-off X, and they win this opening draw. Ball in the far wing with Sajese, and he got a quick shot off that caught some iron. As the Italians averaging over 13 goals per game through this tournament so far, whereas Austria have only been able to average a total of 5. From the X, pass in front, and our opening goal of the morning will belong to Team Italy and Harrison Della Fera, who also went to Villanova. And Italy out to a quick start here, and we may be in for a bit of a mismatch, but important for Italy to keep the foot on the gas pedal. Is he going to look at this Della Fera goal once again? As Israel also 3-0, good chance they beat the Czechs later today. And I believe Italy needs to win by at least 8 to secure that 7th seed. Lots of math involved and lots of results to dictate and determine where everybody will slot in. But if my math is correct, and that is a thin limb to walk out on, Italy will need an 8-goal win here and should get the 7th seed overall. Austria will be in the relegation, but more games to come for Team Austria as well as we work our way to Saturday. So Sajese. Serbru. Shot on the run. There's a stump from Wimmer. The ball will roll out of bounds. As we're just a couple of minutes into this one with Italy leading Austria 1-0. From behind the goal, lobbing pass out front. And it's intercepted nicely. Running himself into traffic as the ball jarred free once again, and maybe numbers back down low. But the ball will skip away from Della Fera. And Austria will get their first attempt at a clear. Been decent on the clear, have the Austrians. 25 of 37 coming into this morning's action. And you'd like that number well up over 80%. And there's a successful one right there. Gerhard Probst will settle here. And the drive from the left alley. And Probst has worked his way to this near side of the field. Well, backdoor cut, a good one. Pass to the crease. And is it Garlinghouse? It is. And how about it from Team Austria, who are excited along with their fans here on Wolf Epic Field as Jack Garlinghouse will tie up the game. We'll see 25 in red just find himself open down near the crease, and DeLuca unable to get in front of it. back to center we go in this 1-1 game. And another clean win for Will Vitelli, who was absolutely dominated in the small circle, if you will. And what a bonus it is to have a draw man like Vitelli. So Italy looking to respond after Austria has tied things up. Sajese playing a lot here in the early going. Goal line extended, feed back door, corkscrew shot, and Wimmer with the denial off of Jeff Trainer. Well, good start here for Austria. Couple of stops from the goaltender. They've got to stand on defense, look out from behind on the ride. There's a little lack of communication. We'll give it back to Cuccinello and Team Italy. This is Regalo. On the run, Cuccinello shoots, scores. Nothing fancy about that one for Christian Cuccinello, just the step down overhand crank. And past Wimmer it goes. Right up into the top corner. As prime time back in Milan, Italy, just after 7 o'clock in the PM. Hopefully lots of Italian fans tuned in to watch their national lacrosse team, who have been impressive here in San Diego. Have not really been all that tested. Mexico gave them a bit of a ball game, but Italy has worked their way through Pool E and a chance to go 4-0. David Abbott. As I have to be honest with you here, my view obstructed of this low left corner a little bit, as we'll battle through the elements here at Wolf Epic. There's a little hesitation, the skip feed across the lane. Cuccinello one more time, and he's got another. So, 2 quick strikes from Italy and Christian Cuccinello. As Team Italy with the 3-1 lead, as we will take our first break here from San Diego. 7:57 here to go in the opening quarter. Team Italy up on Team Austria, 3-1. We're back to San Diego on ESPN Plus for the 2023 World Lacrosse Men's Championship after these messages.
At Morgan Stanley, old school hard work meets bold new thinking. At 87 years old, we still see the world with the wonder of new eyes, helping you discover untapped possibilities and relentlessly working with you to make them real. Old school grit, new world ideas, Morgan Stanley.
Kids grow up, and it goes by fast. At Rady Children's, we're growing up too, always looking for answers and new and better ways to care for your kids.
That's true.
Researching, innovating, breaking ground. As they soar to new heights,
Ignition.
We're ready for takeoff too.
Liftoff.
Back to San Diego and back to the face-off X here out of the timeout with Team Italy leading Team Austria 3-1 and another face-off win. And a clean one at that is Zach Cole at the X this time, and super beneficial for Italy to have two very good drummen. Usually teams will have a dominant guy and then kind of a backup guy. Italy's got two dominant guys. This is Pelliccione in some trouble. Keeps the feet moving, and he'll get out of traffic. And Italy will get their offense set up here. Out to a good start with a 3-1 lead as Cuccinello with 2 out of the 3. Looks to feed, he's got his man, a high shot over top of the goal. It'll all work through number 9 here for the Italians. Abbott. As coming to the ball is Piatelli. Good trail check, jarring that one loose. And Italia not able to save it there, so back to Austria it goes. Right in this lacrosse game here. Early goings, of course, but I think a big positive here for Austria to be within 2 here in this first quarter at this juncture. As they'll get set up here with Gerhard Probst. Big body for the lefty. University of Vienna for Probst. This is Adrian Balash, who tipped off his stick, off his helmet, and dropped right in his pocket. Carson Lombardi with a step. Doesn't take the opportunity. Probst. And now Nicholas Shannon. Good offensive set here for Austria as they work the ball. Feet into the slot, and Balish couldn't save it. And Lombardi couldn't run it down either. So the Italians will look to clear. David Abbott finds his man through the middle. And there's Piatelli. Regallo. Serbu. He'll get the return feed. Is this where he wants to dodge from? As he goes to his right, flip inside, ball on the deck. Man ball situation. And Regallo will scoop that one up. As we go under 5 minutes to play here in quarter 1. This is Christian Trazzolini, who's had an impressive tournament so far here for Team Italy. Just watching Italy games while I'm not calling games, and you hear Trazzolini's name quite a bit while the Italian national team plays. And here he is. Switches left, rolls back right. Kick it off. And off the wing, scores. Cuccinello with the hat trick here in the first quarter. So a 3-goal lead now for Team Italy, as they're up 4-1 as we go under 4 minutes to play here in the first. Cuccinello with 3 out of the 4. And the problem for Team Austria is good chance Italy's coming up with the ball off the draw. And here they come. Zach Cole with another win. Look out, collides with his own teammate. Ball takes a friendly bounce. Cole will bring it ahead. He'll pass it off. There's the sidearm. And Piatelli will find white mesh in behind Vimmer. As I mentioned, the final day of round-robin competition here in pool play. This is Pool E. France and Wales are well underway. The French with a 1-0 lead. And New Zealand, Jamaica tied up at 1 early in that game. Here, 5-1 now, Italy, after the Piatelli tally. As Vitelli gets back at the X, and he'll win himself a draw. This is Jeff Trainer. Shoots on the run, and a bit of a wild one there. But back up in place for Team Italy. There's Alessandro Barrison in behind the goal. Sajese. Inside the restraining line. Takes a poke there from Neubauer. Inside roll. Pass to the attackman behind the goal. A bounce shot will find top corner. Sajese at a Sacred Heart. Makes it 6-1 Italy. So Austria getting off to a good start early, but Italians starting to crank it up here in the late stages of quarter one as they have extended their lead to 5 here. As Vimmer unable to handle the bounce shot to the top corner. As it'll be Vitelli to take this draw once again. And another clean win. I think Italy perfect at the face-off X so far in this one. And Vitelli will try his luck. Will skip past the post and out of bounds. As now here in this fourth game for both these teams, you can start to see the legs starting to get wrapped up. You got tape everywhere. Guys are icing up in timeouts. It is an absolute grind getting through this 10-day tournament, and still more action to come in. And you really have to focus on taking care of your body and getting your appropriate rest when you can. And that'll fall a little bit on the coaching staff as well to manage the bench in games like this as well. Shot. And Cuccinello just caught the shot. Another chance coming. At the end of the quarter is over top of the goal and out. But a successful opening 15 minutes here for the Italians as they lead Team Austria by 5, 6-1. Nicely underway here on day 5 of the 2023 World Lacrosse Men's Championship. As you watch the Italians fill it up in that first quarter. More to come. This is the 2023 World Lacrosse Men's Championship from San Diego. back to Wolf Epic Field here on the campus of San Diego State University on a gorgeous Monday morning. Not bad for a Monday, I must say, here at the 2023 World Lacrosse Men's Championship. No place you'd rather be. As Team Italy and Team Austria, move into the second quarter of action with the Italians in a 5-goal lead. As they flip around, if you're joining us late, blow the whistle, let's play some lacrosse. If you're joining us late, Italy in white, Austria in blue. And Italy with a 3-0 record, Austria with the 0-3 as they'll play their final game here in Pool E. Chance off a helmet and stayed out. As Mika gets some applause from the Austrian fans here in attendance. That's one thing that has really been prevalent here this week is every single nation represented has a load of fans in tow with them. As Piatelli on an absolute crank on a step down, bar down, and 7-1 Italy as Piatelli adds to his totals. That is just textbook biomechanics. And something I'm sure John has practiced thousands of times. And paying off here at the World Championship. Zach Cole will bring it right ahead. Here's Piatelli again. Backdoor for Cuccinello. He won't force it, as he'll set things up. And like I said, Italy will need a convincing win just in case Israel does something crazy. So they want to secure the 7th seed. And I believe the math works out to needing an 8-goal victory to do so. As you can add another for the Italians. As David Abbott from Boccani lost Lacrosse Club. We'll rip one into the top of the net. And the floodgates starting to open here for the white, green, and red of Team Italy. Probably should have went green, white, red, since that's the way it's drawn up on the flag. My apologies. Had a good chat with one of the assistant coaches for Team Italy walking up to the stadium as we were both kind of entering the facility at the same time. And John Capone. And was absolutely lovely to speak with. Spends his time in Philadelphia and helping out with the Princeton women's lacrosse team.
Go defense!
But he's been impressed with what his lads have been able to accomplish so far, and really feel like this team could do some damage in the playoffs.
Yeah,
As here comes another chance and another goal. Alessandro Berresin.
Let's go, Austria! Come,
And a Torino adds to the totals. And when you, as a team, can have a stud for a goaltender, an absolute weapon at the face-off X, and then a couple of gunners up front and Piatelli and Cuccinello, you can hang with any team because you're going to get possessions. You got good offensive firepower, and then when you break down on defense, you got an all-star in net. Zach Cole almost just trading opportunities here at the face-off dot between Cole and Vitelli. As Cole will go for a run. Defender takes a bit of a dirt nap. He's back up. Not sure if the turf monster got him there or not. prowling around Wolf Epic Field here. From the X, Cuccinello turn the corner, rake it home. And that looked too easy for Christian Cuccinello. An absolute physical specimen is Cuccinello. And I'm not sure Austria has a long pole that's able to match up with number 9 in white. So, double digits already here for Team Italy. And still a long way to go here to halftime. As I do see Cedric Frere starting to go through his warm-ups for Team Austria. I don't expect to see 13 in red in between the pipes for half number 2. Whereas Team Italy, I don't think they actually brought a backup goaltender. I think Steven Pelliccione can fill in if needed. But I would expect DeLuca to ride it out here for the Italians. Flag down for the first time in this game. And they'll say Italy stopped attacking the goal, and that was a pretty quick whistle in my humble opinion. But it will be an Austrian penalty and a man-up situation for Team Italy. And if there's one area where they might want and find some improvement is their man-up percentage, 4 for 11 so far. It's tough to know if those numbers are completely accurate, but that's what's on the website, and that's what I'm going with here. But this amount of talent on this Italian team, you would have thought that number might have been a little higher as far as converting with a man up. I don't know why the delay here, but a lengthy one as now we get back underway. As Cuccinello will come near side here for Sabru. He'll get a run. Shoots, scores.
Come on, Austria! Let's go, komm hoch, weiterkämpfen!
The University of Bologna. Gabriel Sabru. 10-goal lead for Team Italy.
They can hear me. Everybody. No, everybody is watching the game for Lacrosse.
I don't mean to chuckle, but Jeff Trainer saying to the long pole here at Neubauer, who lined up on the wing here on the white line, he said, "Hey man, don't cheat yourself here. It's the black line. Move up a little bit." So helping out the long pole on the face-off. As Austria tries to win their first face-off here. But a violation will give it to the Italians. As we go back underway here at 11-1 with 7.5 to go in this opening half. Cuccinello open, book it. Time and room for Cuccinello. He's not missing from there. Hopefully you don't miss us as we go to break. We're back to San Diego for more lacrosse at the 2023 World Lacrosse Men's Championship, presented by Rady Children's Hospital on ESPN+.
Kids grow up, and it goes by fast. At Rady Children's, we're growing up too, always looking for answers and new and better ways to care for your kids.
That's true.
Researching, innovating, breaking ground. As they soar to new heights,
Ignition.
we're ready for takeoff too.
Liftoff.
We honor our indigenous roots and international history. Lacrosse is more than a game. We play with speed, heart, and precision. Young, modern, electric, inclusive, growing across the globe. Lacrosse is everyone's sport, governed globally by World Lacrosse.
Experience real in a whole new way. From the all-new Rescue Junior, where learning about saving animals is fun, to the icy mission of the all-new Arctic Rescue, the longest and fastest straddle coaster on the West Coast, and spectacular new shows, concerts, parades, and fireworks. All in a world you need to rediscover. Get tickets as low as $64.99 during our 4th of July sale. SeaWorld San Diego. Real amazing.
Welcome back to sunny San Diego here in Southern California, the United States of America. And the host site of the 2023 World Lacrosse Men's Championship as Pool E action here from Wolf Epic Field. Final day of pool play. The playdowns, playoffs are around the horizon as we work our way to Championship Saturday. Chance to check out Torero Field last night for the Haudenosaunee and Team Canada. As the Canadians edged out the Nationals by one. Blow the whistle, let's play some lacrosse. We're back underway. And Italy with another face-off win. Vitelli doing the job. But what a display of lacrosse it was last night from Torero. Yes, I don't know if my microphone's picking that up or not, but I got a couple of boisterous Austrian fans right behind my broadcast table that are into this game, despite their countrymen being down 12-1 at the moment. And you gotta love it. Another flag here on Austria. So man up, Italy. They were successful on their first man-up situation.
Let's go, defense!
Trazzolini open himself up, but no need. As Della Ferra with his second. And Italians making quick work. Have extended the lead to 12.
Let's go, Austria!
Maybe I'll just let the fans have a go here for a little bit. Yeah, if nothing else, entertaining. Everybody enjoying themselves here in San Diego, regardless of the scoreline in this one. And we got a whistle. And we got a procedure call. And I can't remember the last time that the Austrians touched the ball offensively. But they will here as the goal scorer for Austria, Jack Garlinghouse, will start things in. So, 5 minutes to go here in this opening half. Let's see what Austria can do out of the timeout, and I think they want to talk it over. They do. They want to make sure they get a good possession offensively, and Ricard Hauer just says, all right, let's talk this over and try and draw up a play maybe that we've practiced over and over again leading up to the tournament and see if we can put our best foot forward and get goal number 2 here against Team Italy. So I'll get you another check-in on the in-town scoreboard as games going on around the campus here of San Diego State this morning. A low-scoring battle between France and Wales, just 2-0 for the French with just over 5 to play in that opening half. And Jamaica, man, are the Jamaicans ever fun to watch. Just unbelievable athletic ability all over their roster. And they have yet to lose a game and looking good against New Zealand. Just a 2-goal lead, but a lead nonetheless. And Jamaica looking to go 4-0. Coming up at 1 o'clock, Mexico, Hong Kong. That will be one to watch. Israel looking to go 4-0 as well. The Czechs looking to even their record to 2-2. I'll have to call on that one from Rady Field at 1 o'clock. And here at Welp Epic Field, it'll be the Netherlands taking on Latvia. 4 o'clock window, more games to come. Australia and the Haudenosaunee. Denmark, Uganda. Peru, Korea Republic. And then the 3 nightcap games. The Philippines will take on Sweden. Poland and Switzerland. And the Canadians right back in action will take on Team England tonight from Torero Field. And then it is playoff time at the World Championship, starting on Tuesday. Look out as Balish with a bit of a lazy pass there, and out of the timeout, the Austrians turn the ball right over on the first pass, and that's tough. And it was just a lack of concentration more than anything. Long pole on the tuck. Long pole, shot a wide. As Bobby Russo out of Rutgers was looking for twine. So you would have liked to seen a little better execution out of the Austrians there out of the timeout. But they'll have to work hard defensively to get this ball back once again against this high-powered Italian team that have run roughshod over their competition so far here in Pool E. But as we work through the days, the competition will get stiffer, and there's a stop on defense for Team Austria. But 13-5 over Hong Kong. 13-9 over Mexico, and then another convincing win over Scotland, 15-5. As they have not really been tested yet. And here, full control over Team Austria, leading by 12. Wimmer will go back. He'll switch hands. He'll bounce one. And here comes the ride from the Italians as they just launch down the field. As Austria trying to sell a call. As the fans asking for a push on Klaus Hauer, and it was not. Let's just be honest with ourselves here. It was a bit of a flop, and the referee not taking the bait. But hey, if you're not cheating, you're not trying. And I don't blame Hauer for trying to sell a call there. But then a pretty good ride here from Austria. We'll get them possession back as Gerhard Probst will leg it up the far sideline and clear through center. Nice job and a good run from Probst. And then gets shoved out of bounds as he makes the pass. And now Garlinghouse in the left-handed cradle. Into the final 2:25 of this opening half. Adrian Balash, better ball there. On the run is Steinlen. Good move. There it is. Klaus Hauer takes flight. And goal 2 for Austria. And a pretty one at that. From Klaus Hauer. As Hauer led the 2018 Men's Championship with 30 goals and returns for his 4th championship here for the veteran. Still got a little hops in those legs. As Zach Cole up quickly. And he comes, kick it off, skip it, score it. And that's how quickly it can happen in the sport of lacrosse. Took about 8 seconds after the Austrian goal for Italy to answer right back as Christian Cuccinello. I want to say that's 5 for number 9 now. As he is filling it up here. As we are in the final minute now of quarter 2. And we'll get you some highlights from the opening half as well, and expect to see a lot of number 9 in white and blue in that highlight pack.
Let's go, Kevin!
Howard was heading for the Austrian bench, had no idea the ball was bouncing right at his feet. Russo. Long pole goal alert. As the right-hander from the left side goes low.
Are you laughing at me?
And the run continues.
Yeah, I have to. We don't have lots of fans. I have to be loud. Let's go, Österreich!
Italy goal scored by number 12, Bobby Russo.
So just 19 seconds to play.
27, Zach Poole.
There's a much needed break for both these teams coming. And what's the call going to be here? Got to go quick here if you're Italy here. Cuccinello sets up his man. Opens up. 5 seconds in front. Chance was there. It'll fall to the deck. And the whistle will go to end the opening half here from Wolf Epic Field in San Diego. All Italy as they're running over Austria here, 15-2. We'll take a break from San Diego, and we'll be back with more of the 2023 World Lacrosse Men's Championship presented by Rady Children's Hospital. Here on the home of it, ESPN Plus.
Download the official event app for daily schedules, scores, stats, and more. Download the Superfan Loyalty app from the Android or Apple Store and search for the 2023 World Lacrosse. Epic Lacrosse is proud to be the premier apparel sponsor of the 2023 World Lacrosse Men's Championship. And to any of Epic's World Lacrosse merch tents today to get your official championship gear. Find amazing designs including shirts and hoodies available for all 30 competing nations. Profits are shared with each nation when you purchase their gear from Epic Lacrosse and take a home a piece of history. Make sure to have your World Lacrosse playoff tickets from June 27th to July 1st. You won't want to miss the semifinal games on June 29th and of course Finals Day on Saturday, July the 1st at Snapdragon Stadium. Head to worldlax2023.com for single-day passes. Continue to support the lacrosse community of San Diego with the San Diego Seals. Cheer on your local professional lacrosse team at Pechanga Arena, San Diego for the 2023-24 season beginning in December. Visit sealslax.com for season tickets. And follow on social media at sealslax.
Welcome back, everybody, here to Wolf Epic Field in San Diego. That looks pretty nice. I could get used to that. 15-2, your score, as the 2023 World Lacrosse Men's Championship is presented by Rady Children's Hospital. It's the largest children's hospital on the West Coast and ranked among the top 10 children's hospitals in the entire nation. Let's check you with you, working our way through halftime here as both teams have gone to seek some shade. during the break here at Wolf Epic Field. And it's Team Italy in full control after 30 minutes to play. As we will send it to break, we'll come back with some highlights on the other side. Right here to San Diego on ESPN Plus for the Women's World Championship. Right after this.
Kids grow up, and it goes by fast. At Rady Children's, we're growing up too. Always looking for answers and new and better ways to care for your kids.
That's true.
Researching, innovating, breaking ground. As they soar to new heights,
Ignition.
we're ready for takeoff too.
Liftoff.
Kids grow up, and it goes by fast. At Rady Children's, we're growing up too. Always looking for answers and new and better ways to care for your kids.
That's true.
Researching, innovating, breaking ground. As they soar to new heights,
Ignition.
we're ready for takeoff too.
Liftoff.
We are back in sunny San Diego and SoCal. And we're at the half here from Wolf Epic Field on the final day of pool play at the 2023 World Lacrosse Men's Championship. As you can see on your screen, Italy is in control over Austria. Has lots of goals and highlights to look at from the Italians in that opening 30 minutes. Let's see how they work their way to this big lead. Got Vlad there with the Austrian flag. There's a look at the Italian flag blowing in the wind. And speaking of blowing, they were blowing balls into the back of the goal early and often here. But it was Garlinghouse for Austria who tied things up at 1 in the early goings. But then the Italian offense came to life from the outside, from the inside, and this man, Cuccinello, with a monster opening half. As you see the wily veteran Hauer take flight for Austria late. We'll see what half number 2 has in store here from SD. As Italy trying to stake their claim to the 7th seed and go 4-0 through Pool E. One more break, and we're back with second half action here from Wolf Epic Field in San Diego. You're watching the 2023 World Lacrosse Men's Championship on ESPN Plus. back to San Diego here on a beautiful Monday morning. And it was a beautiful half for the Italians in that opening 30 minutes, as they have reached their highest goal total they have so far, and they've done it in half a game here against Team Austria as they lead by 13. 15-2 your scores. We're just about set to go for half number 2. Jamaica has opened up a 3-goal lead over Team New Zealand, 5-2 there, and France and Wales locked in a tight one, 3-1, with the French on top. Teams make their way back out here to Wolf Epic Field as we get set for half number 2. It's Jake Elliott with you. Thanks for joining us here for the 2023 World Lacrosse Men's Championship presented by Rady Children's Hospital. And if you want to be interactive during the broadcast here today, I fully encourage that. Questions, comments, concerns, send them my way via Twitter at PXP, the number 4, Sports. As they just do a little repair to the goal. In behind Mika Wimmer, who I thought might come out of this game at halftime and we would see Cedric Frere, but it is Wimmer still in there. So it looks like he will go the distance. As our two boisterous fans take up position behind our broadcast location once again. They actually apologized to me at halftime. I said, no. I said, you're keeping things entertaining here. I love the passion. Keep supporting your lads here who need it. Down 13 as we're underway here in the second half. Blow the whistle. Let's play some lacrosse. And just as they did in the opening half, Italy held the yeoman share of possession, I would say. I don't have the official stats on time of possession in that opening half, but it was heavily askew to the Italian side of the ledger as Luca Regallo will get the opening goal here of half number 2. And now I wish I was a little more brushed up on my Austrian. Check the team comparisons, and not pretty here for Team Austria. I'm not sure how else to say it here. 20-2 their shots on goal. So the 2 shots that Austria registered on target both went in. And Wimmer with 4 saves in that opening half as well. The face-off X has been glaring. 19-1 in favor of Italy. 3 for 5 for Austria, 2 for 3 on the clears for Italy. And 1 for 2 on the man-up. No man-up situations for Austria in that opening half. So there's your halftime stats from this one. A 14-goal lead here, and Italy, I know, wants to win by at least 8. And they're well on their way to doing that. So they'll work around the outside here for the time being. From the top side, Murasan lowers in. Can't get around his man, so he'll play off. And Cuccinello, a one-handed cradle to the X. Italians with something on here as they set up the play. Murasan. Cuccinello, as the flash through the stack was open momentarily for Barasan, but didn't get the feed. Cuccinello in deep once again. The lob to the top, room for the step down, scores! As they wanted to set up their man, Philip Murasan. And he'll deliver. need to chuckle. But they are not giving up. These two boisterous fans in behind my location here. They're in it. 17-2. Doesn't matter. They're going to cheer the full 60 here for their Austrian teammates.
Let's go!
But it's Italy. Back up with the ball here, and David Abbott. A lead feed for Cole. And one more up here for Piatelli, who runs wide. Trying to pry that ball free is Wolfgang Abraham. There's Abbott one more time. Now it's Massimiliano Bonazzoni out here for a shift for the Italians.
Super defense! Schön machst du das! Ja, FC!
Patient set, and why not? Just to work a little clock off. And if nothing else, this game here for Italy, there's a good defensive effort. And maybe numbers here for Austria if they hustle. As it's Supans. Good run there for Mason Supans, who is actually from my neck of the woods up in British Columbia, Canada. He hails from Kamloops. Beautiful part of the province in BC. Gerhard Probst. On the move, Klaus Hauer. As he's watched closely by Cuccinello, who's back on defense. Or is he? Excuse me, it's 5, not 9, as my view was a little obstructed. There's a strip by the Italian defenseman, Bobby Russo. He's looked good through the week here for Italy. Here's Cuccinello in his familiar spot behind the cage, switching back left and right, shopping and feeding. As Barasan will reset the out. Trazzolini, top center. Another Rutgers product. As that ball will bounce away and get across the sideline for a Italian turnover. And Austria almost give it right back, but sure hands on the loose ball there for Carson Lombardi. There's a California native, Santa Clara. She's also a beautiful part of this state here in California. Palo Alto. It's outside of San Jose. Probst. See if Austria can, if nothing else, just work a possession here. Goal line extended. Shannon. Now Probst. Howard will clear through. Now Garlinghouse. Strong left. Back to the right. Turns the corner. And DeLuca able to flex up a shoulder and make a stop. And now the run from the Italians. And Piatelli will settle. So we're halfway through quarter 3. It's Jake Elliott with you here on ESPN Plus from San Diego for the 2023 World Lacrosse Men's Championship. This is Pool E action. And Italy on their way to a 4-0 record with a 15-goal lead here over Team Austria. The chance for a successful clear. Mission complete. There's Steinlein. We'll finish it up. And now Shannon in 6. Gerhard Probst. As David Abbott marked up on him. Hauer. Balish. Good ball movement here from Austria. Around it comes back to Probst as they set it up for Hauer. He'll tuck away. Beats his man. Feet in front. Chance goes by the wayside, but Austria will hang on to possession here momentarily. There's a bouncer. Wide of the target, but get back up from Garlinghouse, who will have possession with Team Austria when we return here to San Diego and the campus of San Diego State University on Wolf Epic Field, where we're playing the 2023 World Lacrosse Men's Championship, presented by Rady Children's Hospital, and you're watching on ESPN+. We have 5:28 here to go in this third quarter of 4. And it's been all Italy in this one. They have a 15-goal lead here over Team Austria. But it's Austria with possession out of the break as they look for goal number 3. Garlinghouse and Hauer, the 2 goal scorers. Here's one of their veteran players, Adrian Balish, who was also on that 2019 Bucks team in Langley. And here he is on the roll. Near side it comes. Shannon. Up top, room for Hauer. He'll drive, he'll switch hands. DeLuca will stare him down. Good look there for Klaus Hauer. Better stop for Matt DeLuca. Now the Italian clear.
Let's go, Austria! Yeah, Jack!
And the Italians, almost successful. But a good stick there. Schmertznick forced the turnover. Olszewski. I'm pretty sure that's the Saints come marching in, but being sung in Austrian, which is a first for yours truly. I didn't mind it. I did didn't know that was a thing.
Let's go offense! Sehr schön, Jungs!
See if that spurs on the boys in red here.
Nice, Carson!
Lombardi to the middle of the field.
Fight,
Triple
fight!
teamed.
Let's go!
As he'll look for an open man, and he's got Probst.
Offense! Offense! Offense!
Lombardi will try his luck again.
Offense! Offense!
And that'll break down.
Yeah, get it back!
But good loose ball. And they'll hang on to possession.
Run through!
And now they'll work from X. In front of Com, scores! Nicholas Shannon. There's also a California native here in Orange County. So used to playing in the California sunshine.
Let's go, Austria!
Here's Shannon and the attackman
Everybody's laughing.
with goal number 3 here for the Austrians.
Red ball! Das ist euer Momentum! Roter Ball, let's go!
Give a shout out to my man Devin, who's tweeted at me at PXP for Sports, cheering on Italy this morning as Bobby Russo, his cousin. Appreciate you tuned in, and for the tweet, Devin, keep them coming at PXP for Sports. Let's get a little interactive here with the scoreline heavily in favor of Team Italy. Let me know what's on your mind. You got any questions you want answered about the World Championship or lacrosse related? Get at me. Let's talk. As Italy and Regallo stopped by Vimmer. Piatelli on the ride will come back up with the ball here. And I think he was trying to avoid going across the center line, even though he had bodies on side on either side of the center stripe. But he will hang on to the ball. And the Italians will work a possession here with 70 seconds to go in quarter 3. Bonazzoni, Piatelli, Cerbru. It's just a light breeze here today on Monday, and you can feel the heat. And I'm undercover right now, and I can only imagine how warm it must feel out on Wolf Epic Field right now. There's a chance here for the Italians. We'll end up in the back of the goal as a couple of patrons walk right in front of my sight line there. So let's look at the replay together, shall we? As I believe it might have been number 6, Luca Regallo, on the finish. And here we go. And indeed, the bouncer. And goal number 18 for Italy. Oh, I don't think the 8-goal spread in jeopardy here. As look up. Bodies come flying right in my direction as Trainer stopped himself up in time. And time winding down here in the third quarter. Oh boy, there's another chance and another goal. Carson Lombardi with goal number 4 for Austria. Much to the delight of the Austrian cheering section here, as it comes with just 4 seconds to go in the third. 18-4 now. One more face-off here in the third. Should just about do it.
Go boys, Austria!
And time. Well, give him credit for a win. As Hauer had it in his pocket, but not enough time to do anything with it. The lead 14 for Italy as they're on their way to 4-0 here in Pool E. A goal from each team on our way out as we will be back here to San Diego for the 2023 World Lacrosse Men's Championship presented by Rady Children's Hospital as you watch on ESPN+. We're back to Wolf Epic Field here on San Diego State University campus. 45 minutes in the books and 15 to play in this one. Pool E action, blow the whistle. Let's play some lacrosse. We're underway in the fourth quarter with Italy in full control over Team Austria as they look to go 4-0 and be ranked in the top 10 for playoff time. I'll get you an update from the other two games going on as we speak. And get you queued up for the 1 o'clock window as well. As Italy first on the board here in quarter number 4. I mean, of all the of all the places to set up, right beside our ambiance microphones. I almost feel like it was premeditated. But I'm here for it. I'm here for it. What the World Championship is all about, just unbridled passion and support for your nation, regardless of the scoreline here. And everybody, honestly, everybody I've talked to here kind of milling around the complex here and over at Torero, just having a fabulous time here in San Diego. And you can lump me into that pool of people as well. It has been exceptional. You know, the lacrosse, the caliber of play, the talent here, the way that the organization of this tournament and the schedule, the way it's come off. Of course, the weather. I don't know if you been following along to @World Lacrosse on the social media channels, but they put out a little video talking to a player from each team, and the question was, what do you like about San Diego, being here in San Diego? And weather was the number one answer. Survey says every single player said the sun, the weather. I love the weather here in San Diego. I mean, just ideal playing conditions for field lacrosse here. And when you're not playing lacrosse, chance to enjoy a little sunshine as well. The ball will go skyward and out of play. Look out. It is the start of the fourth quarter between France and Wales, and they are tied up at 4. As Jamaica has stretched their lead up to 7 here on New Zealand, as they lead 9-2 late in the third quarter there. As down goes Garlinghouse, and then a push while he was down. You can't do that. Austria will maintain possession. So right now in this 10 o'clock window, Wales and France are locked in a good one. And you have Mexico, Hong Kong coming up, along with Israel and the Czech Republic, Netherlands, Latvia. The other two games, Netherlands, Latvia here on Wolf Epic, Israel, Czech Republic on Rady, and Mexico, Hong Kong on the sports deck. Austria is offside. Austria pleading their case that they weren't. I think they're going to talk it over. They might flip this call back here, or if nothing else, maybe take it to center and face it off. Because I think Austria was onside. But we shall see. Again, the officials here at the tournament, there is a massive contingent of them. I don't know what the total number of officials is or here in San Diego, but obviously no officials, no game. And for all these referees to come from different parts of our planet and come together and work as crews, I think have done an exceptional job and a great job of communicating with each other as well to make sure that they get the correct calls, which they just did there. And I think one of the biggest things as a referee that you can do is admit your mistakes. The players make mistakes as well. They take penalties, they drop passes, they go the wrong direction, they step in a crease, whatever it may be. Players make mistakes, coaches make mistakes, so do officials. And there's nothing wrong with going, you know what, that was the wrong call, this is the right call, and just switching it over. And part of that is communicating with your crew, and you get together and say, I might have been, you tell me, was I right on that one? And if everybody kind of gets together and communicates and says, I think that might have been the wrong one, nothing wrong with turning around and making the right call, as we'll get multiple flags flying here. I think one to each team coming. As Balish on his way off, and a bit of a conversation while he makes his way to the box with number 17 for Italy, and Jeff Trainer was actually listed down as a midi, but I guess in this, now they're still barking at each other in the change box here, and now they'll both take a seat, but listed down as a midi, but wielding the long pole as Trainer here in this one, as maybe an opportunity to rest some of the top defenders for a little later in the week. As good shot there from Hauer, rang the crossbar. As playoffs begin tomorrow, that's Tuesday. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, championship on Saturday. The two A-Pool semifinals will be on Thursday. 7th place game on Friday. Bronze medal and gold medal come up on Saturday from Snapdragon Stadium, as DeLuca standing tall. And I don't know how, I mean, DeLuca's head is up over top of the crossbar when he stands in his net. So he's got to be looking at about 6'6". 6'5", 6'6" for DeLuca. As Sabru. And almost a turnover on Italy. And now it finally is. Stadlinger makes the play. We're under the 10-minute mark to go. As Hauer got a good run to the cage. DeLuca just kept himself planted on that short side pipe and made the stop. As the wind arrives in San Diego, as it often does right around this time, it's almost like clockwork, the weather here in San Diego. You wake up, you get a high overcast, and you're thinking, oh, is it going to rain? No, it's never going to rain here in San Diego. And by 10:30, the high cloud cover burns off. It begins to heat up, and then right around now, 11:30, the breeze will begin to pick up. You get a little wind to cool you down as the sun gets hotter, as the high shot over top of the goal. And then into the afternoon, and then around 6:30, 7 o'clock, it begins to cool off as the sun begins to drop. And I don't want to say it gets chilly at night as a spinner there from Probst blocked. But it goes from, you know, tank top and shorts in the middle of the day to long sleeve minimum, maybe even a hoodie at night. As Austria working a possession here, and they've held the ball down on this end for some time now. As we're under 8 minutes to play now, so timeout coming on the next dead ball. As a chance there, hit a body, then Balish into the crease. And we'll get a whistle here and a timeout as well, as exactly half a quarter to go. Italy up a 15 spot here on Austria and on their way to 4-0 in Pool E. 2023 World Lacrosse Men's Championship returns to San Diego on ESPN+. Out of our final break here and back to San Diego State University on Wolf Epic Field. as Pool E action. Their final game for each of these teams. Italy on their way to 4-0. Austria on their way to 0-4. As it's been all Italy in this one as they lead by 15 with 7.5 minutes to play. Jake Ellie with you. Thanks for joining us on ESPN Plus. As the 2023 World Lacrosse Men's Championship is sponsored by Rady Children's Hospital, the largest children's hospital on the West Coast and ranked among the top 10 in the nation. There's a turnover there on Italia. And Austria looking for goal number 5 here. Shannon, Howler, Garlinghouse, all tallying for the Austrians. As they were 1-1 at one point in that opening quarter. And within striking distance at 3-1, but then the floodgates, or the canals, if you will, opened up for Team Italy. And they have not looked back as Christian Cuccinello with a big one here for Italy, as he has been one of their standouts all week long here in San Diego. That's it. I keep feeling like it gets warmer and warmer each day here in San Diego. Maybe that's just me. But it is a warm breeze blowing past here on Wolf Epic Field right now as we approach the noon hour on the Pacific West Coast. As they work their way into the evening. Back in the country shaped like a boot. Monazzoni.
Super defense!
He'll dodge to his right.
Yeah, get the ball!
And tried to feed low. It was almost turned over. And now it is as Martin Neubauer with a good run to center. And finds Shannon with some speed. Adrian Balash as we're under 5 to play here in the fourth. They needed the 8-goal win, did Italy, and they're well past that mark. And I think at this point, for what will be the 4-0 Italians, the goals for and goals against will not play a role, and for 0-4 Austria, I don't believe it will either, as their seedings will be set by the end of today, as playoff action begins tomorrow here in San Diego. Try and get you one more check-in on the 2 other games going on, as France and Wales at last check were tied up at 4. So let's have a look here and see 5-5 now, as they're coming down the stretch in that one. Under 6 to play between Wales and France, and nothing decided yet. 10-3 Jamaica lead the Kiwis. Mexico, Hong Kong, Israel, Czech Republic, Netherlands, Latvia, all in the 1 o'clock window to come up next. And there's a flag, and a well-warranted one, as James Miller will be guilty. Clock ticking towards the 3-minute mark.
Let's go, defense!
And Italy will sit back and wait. They'll surely be watching that Israel-Czech Republic game, as those two very close in the rankings. Chance here for Austria, maybe. Long pole. Doesn't shoot it. And Shannon will pull high here as the transition opportunity goes by the wayside. Just the one goal here in the fourth quarter, as Italy has kind of pulled the starters off the field and taken their foot off the gas pedal here a little bit with this big lead here over the Austrians. And honestly, you know, I come in here to Wolf Field yesterday, walking up the concourse. It's a bit of a long walk to get to the field from the other complex and location. And I was walking behind, I don't know, 4 or 5 Austrian players as they were having a conversation after their game. And you know, I'm not naming any numbers or anything, and not that it's a bad thing or anything, but as Balish will put it wide, they were kind of having like an honest conversation with themselves, saying, you know what, like from the last time we were here, we were a much better lacrosse team, but after playing some competition, they knew, they realized, they could tell that they still had a ways to go to get themselves in the conversation with some of the countries that they want to compete against. But there was a real honest conversation between players on the roster where they were just real with each other. And sometimes, you know, teams I think can probably think they're better than they are, or that maybe things were stacked up against them and they start kind of creating excuses to explain why their record may be the way it is. And for the Austrians, they were just kind of honest with themselves, saying, hey, like, we're good, we're better than we were, but we still got a long way to go. And I found that very, I don't know, refreshing to kind of hear. Their realization of their placement in this tournament. I don't know if I explained that quite the way I wanted it to, but I hope you understand what I'm saying. I respected the fact that these guys were just real with each other. Final 30 seconds of this one. And one more turnover here on Italy. And maybe one more chance for Austria. Remember, I will be moving over to Rady Field for the Czech Republic in Israel, as the next window of games will come up at 1 o'clock Pacific time. And more games to come at 4 and 7 as well. Thanks for watching this one. As one more interception from Trainer, as the clock will hit 000. And Team Italy, with a perfect record through pool play, 4-0. And their most convincing win yet, a 19-4 drubbing of Team Austria. That'll wrap up this one. We appreciate you tuning in here to ESPN Plus and watching. And more games to come all day long here from day 5 of the 2023 World Lacrosse Men's Championship presented by Rady Children's Hospital. For our entire production crew here at ESPN, I've been Jake Elliott. And for the fastest game on 2 feet, and for the creator, enjoy the rest of the games here from San Diego at the 2023 World Lacrosse Men's Championship.